The Wolverine fans have made the trip from Orem, Utah. Meanwhile, Tarleton's been here since early in the week, making the trip from Stephenville, Texas. And away we go. Our third and fourth quarterfinals with the ball tapped out and going out of play as Tarleton will start with the ball.
Yeah, big man. He got up high on that one. He forcefully tipped it to his back, but he was too far out of bounds.
As we start off, Scott, our keys to the game brought to you by Geico, saving you money on your car insurance for over 85 years. We start on the Tarleton side as they try to make it 2 straight wins here at WAC Vegas.
Yeah, my brother's keeper. You got to make the extra pass on offense. Got to move those big bodies from side to side and pressure cook. Defense has got to apply pressure on the ball handlers and the on-post touches.
Meanwhile, on the Utah Valley side, team that comes in a 15-3 WAC regular season record.
Use that big size advantage, pound the glass. Tarleton starting 4 guards, tallest player on the floor, 6'7", and then turn and burn. Rebound and run, light up that scoreboard like they did against Stephen at Boston.
Your featured player, though, Freddie Hicks for Tarleton. Great start on a slash to the cup, and the Texans get the first bucket of the night. Just underway from Orleans Arena. On the drive, little floater, no for Justin Harmon. And a good start for the Texans, who won 74-70 over 10th-seeded UTRGV on Tuesday. Got off to a great start in that game, led 21-4 in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, they had to weather the storm and hold on to win that one, but they did a nice job, got a big bump off their bench. From Smith, 26 points.
30 bench points overall, but Bogues can't connect underneath. Trey Woodbury, who's back in his hometown, the Las Vegas native, gets the rebound. Former UNLV running Rebel.
Yeah, he triple-double last time out, 11 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists. Stat sheet stuff, we got to watch Woodbury.
Here is Woodbury on the ball. Launches the 3, connects. Great start for Woodbury, who didn't play the entire regular season last year with a knee injury, but back at full health. He's been excellent for the Wolverines.
Big, strong body, always plays on balance.
Tarleton at 16-15 in the regular season, 9-9 in the conference, getting the number 7 seed, third of a 4-year transitional stretch into Division I, eligible for the first time for the WAC tournament. Shakur Daniel, 3 on the shot clock, finds the open man, Gary Clark, an air ball for 3.
And did you see the way the big man covered that distance, got out all the way to the arc and challenged that shot, just enough to affect the shooter.
Meanwhile, Billy Gillespie on the Tarleton bench, the win on Tuesday night. First time he had been in a postseason NCAA basketball game since the 2009 SEC tournament at Kentucky. He is back, and Tarleton has now made their name felt in WAC Vegas.
Yeah, the legend, Billy Gillespie. I love watching this man coach his troops up.
Favored Utah Valley Wolverines looking to make it 9 wins in 10. With a little poke in the middle, Darthard off the mark, tipped around and controlled by Shamir Bogues. And that rebounding battle going to be so key tonight as Bogues takes it coast to coast.
Wow, really showing the pressure, getting out and running. That was one of the keys, and getting it big back and get. You got to turn and burn either on both ends, not just on the defensive glass. You got to get back, protect that paint.
You have Utah Valley, best rebounding team in the conference versus Tarleton, worst rebounding team in the league, as this 3 is a little strong. Push off called on Bandego.
Bandego doesn't like it. He thought he was working hard on that weak side for that long rebound and thought he did his work early to gain that position, but just a little bit underneath with the lower half of the body. Gets the whistle. There's Mark Madsen, the Mad Dog.
2023 WAC Coach of the Year. You guys had your battles back in the day in the league.
That's right. When he was out there playing with the Lakers and the Minnesota Timberwolves, boy, we used to battle under the boards. Back in the NBA when they used to bang.
When you were true bangers down low.
Different game back than it is now.
Mark Madsen, 2-time NBA champ with the Lakers. But it's Tarleton on the other side. Early 4-3 lead. Daniel on the kick. Clark just airballed a 3. Floater up, a little short with Bandego. The board had 17 rebounds twice this year.
And you can see that big man there. He wanted to go all the way to the rim, but Big 55 says, no, you shall not come any further. The floater was off.
On the drive by Latrey Darthard. First team all conference, lays it inside. Nice scoop, Justin Harmon.
Good pass, better cut. Really moving without the basketball well, gives Utah Valley the first lead of the game.
A good traveling fan base from Orem, Utah. We have 3 Utah teams in this night session, Scott. A whole lot of Utah fans making the trip.
The Beehive State's empty right now. Everybody's in Vegas.
Daniel with the bucket. Good answer for Tarleton. How about this back and forth so far? Great start from both teams.
Loving the action. You thought maybe there might be a little rust on the Wolverines as they haven't played in 7 days, but they're looking good. Offense is moving. They're getting on the offensive glass. They got to get back a little bit better on defense and build out.
Bandego on the handoff to Woodbury, part of the Utah Valley team, picked 7th in the preseason. They win the regular season title. Way off from Woodbury, but we get a foul on the deck. This goes on Tarleton.
Yeah, I think it's Bandego. He does a good job when the shot goes up, trying to establish that position on the weak side.
And they will change it to Lou Williams of Tarleton, so a pretty big distinction there. Could have been 2 on Bandego. Instead, it goes on Tarleton as we've reached our first break of the night. Good start for Billy Gillespie's Texans, 6-5 lead on top of Utah Valley.
For 46 years straight, more of you have trusted Ford F-Series.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see our guy.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see our guy.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the Buffalo Wing's been around.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see our guy.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see our guy.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see our guy.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see our guy.
Jimmy Kimmel hosts the Oscars, live Sunday on ABC.
An early 6-5 lead for Tarleton over second-seeded Utah Valley as we welcome in the third member of our team, Kendra Sheehan, for the first time.
Hey, Ben, yeah, I got a chance to talk to both head coaches before the game. For Utah Valley, Mark Madsen making their first appearance in the WAC tournament this year. He said having that bye, it's important to come out with a lot of intensity. We got to rebound the basketball. They won the regular season, but came in the 2 seed with our new resume seeding system, and Coach Madsen said, no need to play with a chip on our shoulder. It's good for the conference. We just have to come out ready to go. On the other hand, head coach Billy Gillespie for Tarleton said the first game is always hard in a postseason conference tournament, especially for a team making their first appearance. He recognized the battle ahead. He said it's a battle of the haves and the have-nots, with UVU loaded with players earning postseason accolades. So we have to come out hard and keep putting Tarleton's name on the map. Ben?
Thanks, Kendra. Guys like Trey Woodbury, who hits a 3, the Las Vegas native, off to a great start.
I believe that's
he looks healthy, too.
Yeah, I believe that's his second from distance. You can just tell when he gets himself with his shoulders squared to that basket and is on balance, it just looks like he's going to knock it down. And we had a perfect view of that one. We tracked it all the way right into the bottom of the net.
Yeah, part of a team that shoots very well from 3 overall and limits opponents' fewest three-pointers allowed, at least by percentage this season, from UVU as they set up on defense. Ja'Cory Smith had a huge night Tuesday, cannot get the roll, and 26 off the bench, a season high for the JUCO transfer.
Well, that's what Utah Valley wants to do. They want to force a mid-range jump shot, get these guys playing in the yard, that area between the free-throw line and, between three-point line and the paint. We got a charge underneath.
And they call it on Tim Fuller driving inside. As well, we have a second. We remind you that whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, Hercules Tires has the muscle to move you. Be confident in driving in all conditions with a safer, smoother ride at HerculesTires.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength. Understanding, Scott, your area of expertise, that paint area, going to be so huge tonight. What are you noticing early from what Tarleton's trying to do with that size mismatch?
Well, they're going to try to keep them off balance. They're going to try to get a chance to run before they get a chance to set that defense. You see the Wolverines setting that defense there, made it real tough to go inside against it.
And Hicks missing the 3 early in the shot clock. With Taj Small just checking in, the former Tarleton Texans matching up against his former team. Darthard, strong move, gets the roll.
That's what Darthard does, right? So he just puts that big body on the defense, not afraid to go in there and play against the trees with that extra muscle.
Now one of 3 first-team all-conference members of the Wolverines. On the drive, Daniel pulls up and hits. Pretty stroke from Shakur Daniel.
Good defense, but better offense. Found a little wiggle room down along that baseline and was able to knock one down over 2 defenders.
Even start so far as Fuller gets grabbed. Shamir Bogues trying to break up that handoff. And an early foul going on Bogues. Tarleton, a group that under head coach Billy Gillespie clinched their first above 500 season in Division I history after being a D2 school since '94. Before that in the NAIA. Utah Valley looking for their first ever trip to the NCAA tournament if they could run the table. 3 wins in 3 nights. Darthard partially blocked. How about the active hands there of Lou Williams showing off the length?
Yes, he did, and it surprised Darthard how quickly he closed on that shot attempt.
Daniel just hitting a bucket a moment ago. Was quiet the other night. 2 points on just 1 of 6 shooting. But plays a ton. Barely leaves the floor over 35 minutes a game. Daniel, not this time on the pull-up, and Small gets the board. That'll be a fun battle to watch with Small playing against his former team.
Oh, you really will be, but great job defensively, communicating that switch there and still challenging the shot without committing the foul.
Tim Caesar also just in off the bench. And it's Darthard with 6 on the shot clock. Looks for the step back, almost loses the ball. Woodbury for 3. No, rebounded by Hicks as Tarleton holds strong.
Tarleton, yeah, they were really out there scrambling, putting a lot of pressure. Now, no interior passing made the Wolverines settle for 1 as the shot clock was expiring.
It limited Utah Valley to 58 points in that win a couple weeks ago. UVU, a team that averages over 76 a game. Bogues with 6 on the shot clock. Looks for the entry. Nice find, but Fuller's there for the block. Comes right back. Williams short. And on the fight for the ball, we get a foul called on Fuller of UVU. What a battle underneath.
Well, great recovery. It looked like an easy layup underneath, but Fuller playing outside of position. Came back, got the first one. As the ball went to the floor, both players go down, and Fuller gets whistled for the call. I like when both players go down and fight for the ball. I hate when the whistle blows when guys are going down there in that scrum, because as a coach, that's what you teach. You have a big 7-footer going down there getting his knee scraped on the floor. Don't blow the whistle on him. Let those big guys play.
Fuller wasn't happy with the call, not only for what you said, but that's his second personal very early. So Tim Fuller, who's the team's leading field goal shooter, now has to exit the game.
Something to watch. This is where they can really hurt. Tarleton can really hurt UVU with their quickness. All players under 6'6".
Bogues swatted away by Bandego.
Well, as soon as I say that, the big fella say, "You shall not pass. Don't bring it inside here. You want an advantage, you better stay out there on that perimeter."
Now Bandego, only 88 blocks this year in 31 games. That's not bad. That's the last time I checked.
That's amazing. Nearly 3 a game.
Blaze Neal in for the first time for UVU.
I think I led North Carolina in blocks in 1990 with 1 a game.
And that was enough back then. 88 as Bandego sets up. 1 on the clock. Foul called, and they'll get a goaltend. No. Big mistake, Tarleton, as that ball was not going to go in.
You're right. It wasn't going in, but it was over the rim, and you can't assume that it's not going to go in. You can't mess with that, and giving them an easy opportunity, slapping that one away. So 3-point play opportunity when we come back.
Gives UVU the 4-point edge. Under 12 to go in the first half. Good start for the Wolverines. Having a 3-game win streak entering WAC Vegas. They're up 4.
Targets are on site.
It's all here as we discussed.
Targets are on site.
It's all here as we discussed.
Targets are on site.
It's all here as we discussed.
Targets are on site.
It's all here as we discussed.
Critics and audiences are cheering for Otto.
Otto.
You don't hear that name very often.
Hey, Otto!
No. Otto.
You don't hear that name very often.
I do.
Critics and audiences are cheering for Otto.
Otto.
You don't hear that name very often.
Hey, Otto!
No. Otto.
You don't hear that name very often.
I do.
Hey, Otto!
No. Otto.
You don't hear that name very often.
I do.
Critics and audiences are cheering for Otto.
Otto.
You don't hear that name very often.
Hey, Otto!
No. Otto.
You don't hear that name very often.
I do.
Hey, Otto!
Bring home A Man Called Otto, one of the best films of the year.
Hello.
Hi, I have great. Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
This is what you dream of.
The Tarleton band in the house making the trip from Stephenville, Texas, as the Texans trail by 4 against second-seeded Utah Valley. Hey, whether you rent or own, Geico makes it easy to bundle home and car insurance. Having a home is hard work, so get a quote at geico.com. Easy. What has not been easy, though, Scott, has been the Tarleton offensive sets 1 of their last 7 from the field. What would you like to see differently here out of the Texans?
You know, they were really doing an excellent job when they were moving without the basketball. I think that their speed will be an advantage if they can continue to try to move without that basketball, getting shots, getting some stops, and getting out and running.
Billy Gillespie looking on, the 63-year-old from Abilene, Texas, as the N1 free throw is good. Neal connecting on the N1, as it's the largest lead so far. Very even start between the two teams. First game of the tournament for UVU, getting the first round bye. Tarleton beating 10th seeded UTRGV on Tuesday. But Fuller is on the bench for UVU with 2 fouls. On the pull-up, Bogues rattles it down. Nice look on the mid-range.
Well, that's what they got to do. They got to move that basketball because as the defense tries to react, they can't move as quick as that basketball can. They'll get a little cleaner looks against the length of the Wolverines.
We get a foul called off the ball with Smith trying to deny that entry to Bandego, even though Bandego was out of the three-point line.
Yeah, the referees have kind of been letting them play. I think that the players are getting used to being able to put a little more hands on. All of a sudden, they said, no, we're going to tighten it back up here. So only 7 fouls in this basketball game. Oh, he stepped over
and back. Yep.
Good call.
Neal got bumped, but it wasn't enough for a foul to be called. As Shamir Bogues, one of the best defensive guards in the conference, leads the league in steals on the all-defense team, makes that play.
Well, just the pressure on the inbounder, their little side out of bounds, and he just couldn't handle real well. And as you saw, it just loses his balance when he gets banged slightly. And he wanted to throw the ball back before he went over half court, and he thought, I don't want to do that because I don't want a live ball turnover. So he just carried in the back court with him.
Bogues now runs the offense. As great as he is defensively, can also distribute really well.
Look at the battle Smith has got going on underneath.
There's Smith, stripped but fouled. Harmon tried to go active hands on the inside, but those bigs continue to bang underneath.
Yeah, well, they are a smaller team except for off the bench. Smith could be a starter, but they like that matchup when he comes in there, give him a little bump and some muscle down in that painted area. The last 2 trips down the floor, he's really been working hard to establish that low post position.
14 fouls on each team as we near the halfway mark of our opening 20 minutes, with Brent Moe, Mark Beasley, and Randy Heimerman our officials tonight. Here's a look at Ja'Cory Smith, 26 points. Had never reached 20 in a Division I game until Tuesday. Not a bad time.
Well, you like those guys that step up in big moments, right? So it's not kind of what you do in a regular season or a non-conference game. It's what you do when all the chips are on the line.
Smith goes 1 of 2. Taj Small the rebound. Knocked away. More active hands from Bogues as he tries to track it down, but was unable to keep it in play. How about the hustle, though, from Bogues? That's 2 different plays he's made a difference on.
You just mentioned at the time before, playing in those passing lanes, he got that deflection and almost ran that ball down the length of the floor.
So what do you do now? 9 on the shot clock. You have to go the length of the floor for UVU.
Got to hustle, hide, pick and roll, try to get something, free something for your ball handler.
4 on the clock. On the drive, Heald stops, launches and hits, plays Neal off the window. Pretty touch.
Well, he rejected the screen. They had the big man above the three-point line to set the screen, and he just says, nope, I'm going to keep going down this right alleyway. And then with a great move, he stopped on a dime and twisted, turned, and knocked it off the board.
Both teams have had incredible answers so far as we're just getting started. 15-11 game on the drive. Hicks, talk about an answer, Scott. There's another one for Freddie Hicks.
Yeah, Hicks just put on his hard hat and his lunch pail and just went right at the big man's chest. You got a shot blocker underneath there. You can't get fancy with it. You got to get into his body.
Neal lobbing for Bandego. Not double team, so he goes to work and gets fouled. Hicks tried to swipe at him from the side.
I love that one there because the entry pass, it wasn't the best, but he just threw it up there where only the big man could go and get it. And then even though he had 2 defenders on him, he didn't panic. He took his time, got back on balance, and then went into his primary move. Left shoulder turn to that big right-hand hook.
It is not a position, Scott, many people can talk with knowledge about or have experience of when you are 6'10" or above on a basketball floor. So what is that like to be in Bandego's shoes where you're towering over everybody?
Well, it's a wonderful feeling if you got guys that can keep the defense honest so you don't have a player and a half in your left and you can miss that second one and you can get down there and get some off low post position.
Harmon on the reset, rattles down a triple. The missed free throw works out for the Wolverines.
Second chance points are a killer in conference basketball. Seen it time and time again. It's not the first shot you beat as you generally in these tournament games. It's that second shot. Got to clean up your own defensive glass.
That's 6 second chance points already for UVU. Largest lead of the first half as Corian Russian has entered. Hicks rises for 3, shorts, tipped around and controlled by Small.
Bandego challenged it out along that 3-point arc.
Drive and kick. 3 on the way. Caesar, no. There's Bandego, and he's bumped underneath. Right. So hard to slow him down.
You're absolutely right. And I've mentioned it several times now because he's been coached up real well. When the shot comes out from the long distance, get to the far side of the glass and establish your position early. There was nothing that Bogues could do with that mismatch down there. All he could say is, like, let me foul him before he dunks the ball back through the net.
Bandego back to work. A little strong, but Caesar gets the follow-up.
They are owning the offensive glass the last couple possessions.
On the drive, Small fouled with a partial block, but more contact coming inside. They get Bogues for the personal. That's his 3rd already.
Keeping that ball alive, keeping it in your offensive end is so huge when you're trying to establish a little momentum in the second part of the first half.
What a huge call, too. Shamir Bogues, 3 fouls now. The WAC All Defensive Team player, leader in the conference in steals, and he has to exit for the Tarleton Texans.
Yeah, you wonder if Coach Gillespie and staff didn't realize he had gotten to that second foul to have him out there for an extended period of time right in the middle of this half. He probably should have sat him down and said, listen, we can buy a couple minutes towards the end of the half where we can get a little momentum and take it to the locker room. But now he's going to have to sit for a while.
Not only that, Tarleton now over the limit with 8:06 to go. UVU just 14 fouls, but a couple missed free throws at the line from Taj Small. Very un-Wolverine, like they're the best free throw shooting team in the league at over 74%.
Small can't believe it. He's going to miss one is one thing, but to miss them both, that's very unusual.
Bogues still in the game with 3 fouls, so they keep him in. Billy Gillespie gambling early in the game. On the drive-in kick, it's thrown away. As we hit a break, Utah Valley dominating the glass, doubling up Tarleton on the boards with 6 second chance points, and they lead it by 6.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading protection to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed at ticketsmarter.com.
Fly Provo and experience travel convenience. With new destinations continually being added, Provo Airport is becoming a travel alternative for those wanting all the conveniences of a large airport minus the hassle. Within minutes, you could be exploring Utah's great outdoors or flying across the country. Looking for your next trip? Come fly with us. Provo Airport welcomes you home.
Shakur Daniel is one of a few players head coach Billy Gillespie brought to Tarleton from his previous head coaching gig at Ranger College, and since then he's exploded for the Texans, becoming one of the best leaders on the team. Now, he got injured last year before conference play, which was tough. Gillespie publicly calling Daniel the heart and soul of that team. This season he's back, making up for those 14 missed games, better than before, playing a league high in minutes. Coach saying that he brings a lot to this team, even if it doesn't always show up in the stat sheet. Ben?
Great stuff, Kendra. Daniel was 5th in the conference in assist-to-turnover ratio, was honorable mention the first year he came in before that injury, as Bandago can't hit out of the timeout. Rebound for Tarleton, desperate to get back into a rhythm offensively. He's got no points over the last 2 minutes.
Well, I like the way they come out of the timeout there. Mark Madsen dials one up for his big fellow who's been working hard defensively.
But stripped by Darthard, taking it away from Freddie Hicks. On the pull-up, Blaze kneeled short, fight for the board. It's picked up this time by Tarleton, desperate to clean up on the glass. Had been getting doubled up before that.
Gang rebound, and you could tell Coach Gillespie said we need more bodies on the boards. They had 4 guys down there scrapping for that rebound.
By the way, they changed the foul on the last break, so Bogues only has 2. Smith with the second foul. Ja'Cory Smith, he and Bogues still in with 2 fouls. As Smith draws contact, so a very big break for Tarleton. We thought Bogues was going to pick up his 3rd. Instead, he has 2. But again, Billy Gillespie staying aggressive, keeping those guys out there.
And I like the way they went back inside to Smith. He's got an advantage down there with strength. I think he's got a cot in the weight room. This guy probably just pushes weight all day around on a sled, as he's using his lower body to really move around those Wolverines.
Because of the COVID year, Smith got an extra year, played at East Mississippi Community College for 3 seasons, left as the 2nd leading scorer in team history. Led them to a conference title as well. A big get from Utica, Mississippi, the 6'6", 4th-year junior for head coach Billy Gillespie. He was part of a Tarleton team that was excellent at the line, too, Tuesday night. Smith went 11 of 11 at the stripe, team 23 of 26. A big reason why they held off UTRGV late.
Yeah, in conference tournament games, you got to be clutch at the free throw line, especially down the stretch. And that's one thing that's worked against the Wolverines early on here. They've missed a couple front ends and gone 0 for 2 on a couple of other shots.
And now a careless turnover as Woodbury gets stuck in a travel. Yeah, 2 for 5 for UVU at the line. Best free throw shooting team in the conference.
As slow as Tarleton has gotten out the gate tonight, they are in a 2-possession game with the basketball. So Coach Gillespie will take that all day and twice on Saturday.
While we have a sec, the Western Athletic Conference would like to thank Adidas for being the official apparel partner of the WAC Men's Basketball Championship. Adidas, impossible is nothing. Early 4-point lead for UVU. On the drive, Javante Hopkins rejected. Oh, Tim Caesar says, no way.
You shall not pass. Just waited for the ball to be visible in the air and went up and snatched it.
Nice finish on the other end. Justin Harmon, that defense leading to offense.
Harmon just seems like he's got a good low center of gravity on those drives. Sure, with the basketball, just floated that one right over the top of the Texans D.
Hicks looking to drop it down. It's read perfectly by Harmon, who gets the steal. This guy can do it all.
And give AB credit for giving that deflection.
Darthard on the finish. Largest lead of the first half for UVU.
And Coach Gillespie sees a little spurt going. He wants to shut that down, gets a timeout.
It's a timeout, Tarleton, with Utah Valley getting into their rhythm.
Well, it's that defense, right? You get that turnover, and all of a sudden you are off to the races. Turn and burn. Little block shot there, and then Darthard just going the opposite direction, does the rest. Cutting, slicing, dicing right through the defense for two.
Part of such an experienced Utah Valley club as well. 5 players have played at least 100 games at the D1 level. Darthard is not one of them. He's played over 80. It's hard to quantify how that will relate to the actual on-court performance, but we've seen it all year for the regular season champs, Utah Valley.
Yeah, they are just a solid squad, right? A lot of players, moving pieces. They don't care who gets the credit. They just go out there and play the Mark Madsen system. I mean, he's really got this team bought into his philosophy, his system, that culture that he learned from all his years around many levels of basketball, college and pro. And this team is looking real good here in the last 3 minutes.
Coach Madsen leading UVU to its second outright WAC regular season title in team history as we're back underway. Tarleton without a field goal in the last 4 minutes. On the floats, it's an air ball, not close on the attempt by Williams.
Right, and that's a tough shot coming out of that timeout. You want to find an easy opportunity, and that's hard against that baseline and the defense.
Woodbury with 2 early threes. UVU trying to extend the lead to double digits. Seven on the shot clock for Woodbury. On the slash, lays it off, and a foul is drawn. Another one for UVU on the interior.
Woodbury, with the shot clock going down, just says, okay, we're going to take it at the top. Everyone clears out 1-4, let the lane open up so he can attack inside that interior. And I don't think he was even, the goal was to get the basket, the goal was to get that contact, get that foul, as Tarleton's over that limit, either shooting foul or getting bumped on the drive, go to the line and make some free throws.
And Utah Valley will be in the double bonus in 2 more, while they still have a couple fouls to give before even giving up the bonus. And this continues a long stretch without a point for Tarleton as UVU extends the lead to 10. No field goals now for nearly 5 minutes. What do you do here if you're Tarleton on this set?
Yeah, they got themselves a little 7-0 run here. The Wolverines are looking good. They got to go back inside. I think Smith down on that block is a good option for him. They can get something inside for him.
3 from Williams. Knocks it down.
Or a 3-point by Williams.
That helps.
Either one works.
Well, after the gamble by UVU on the steal, freed up Williams, team's best 3-point shooter at 40%. Caesar puts it on the deck, taken away. Tiger Booker blazing up court. Awkward shot, but he draws contact in the process and will head to the line.
Well, a little over penetration, but in the middle allows the defense to come over and snatch that ball away. And you get a 3-point shot. You come back, you get the defense to steal. Now you go down the other way, you get an opportunity to put 2 more points on the board, and they needed it. Fell behind by 10, had to get something going so they wouldn't lose touch with this Utah Valley team because they're front runners. They like to get out front and bury a basketball club.
And this is the reversal of roles for the Tarleton Texans. They come out guns blazing, led by 17 right away, and had to constantly fend off big runs from UTRGV. Billy Gillespie's team finding itself with the roles reversed tonight.
Yes, I think their best offense is to get out and run. But against Utah Valley, I don't know if that's quite the way they want to play. I don't know if they want to get in a shootout with the Wolverines.
Tiger Booker makes both free throws. UVU, a top 50 tempo team in the country based on the Ken Pomeroy metrics, as head coach Mark Madsen looks on for the Wolverines.
Yeah, as he looking on, he was working the official over there. Did you see him using on him hand and shoulder gestures? He knows he might get that call in the second half if he puts that work in here in the first half.
And he's seen this whole conference tournament, how tight seemingly every single game has been. Just a 5-point margin as we go down the stretch. Harmon to the bucket, yes!
Again, Harmon turning the corner like he's got on ice skates. Right around the defense. An elevation to the rim is just a little laying right over the front.
Let's see if Tarleton can answer. Williams, no. They get a foul on the deck, though. That was the 7th team foul, so when we come back from break, it will be Tarleton going to the free throw line. Texans trying to keep themselves within contact, but UVU has hit their last 3 field goals and lead by 7 in our 3rd and 4th quarterfinals here on ESPN+.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see our guy.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Geico's been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the Buffalo Wing's been around.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see our guy.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see our guy.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Geico's been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the Buffalo Wing's been around. Geico's been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the Buffalo Wing's been around. Geico's been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the Buffalo Wing's been around. Geico's been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the Buffalo Wing's been around. Geico's been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the Buffalo Wing's been around. Geico's been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the Buffalo Wing's been around.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big, we go bigger.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Geico's been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the Buffalo Wing's been around.
A souvenir for a lucky fan.
Hey, look at the Tarleton Texans huddle as they trail second-seeded Utah Valley by 7 as we go down the stretch, end of the first half. Big question, Billy Gillespie and his team trying to figure out how to limit UVU in the paint. Wolverines already with 10 paint points and have got 16 total rebounds, leading to 6 different second chance points.
I need more size. Those guys on the other end are just bigger and stronger and faster right now. They can't handle them inside, and that's something they got to try to tighten up in the second half for sure.
That's even on a night where Aziz Bandago, the 7-foot sophomore for UVU, conference leader in rebounds and blocks, averages a double-double, has just 1 point and has missed all 3 of his shots.
It's a little surprising that they've been able to get him some looks, but he hasn't been able to capitalize. They're only shooting 45% on 10 of 22, so they probably try to make that an emphasis in the second half to try to bound the big man inside.
Each team into the 1-and-1 as we go down the stretch. Final 3:43 the first half. The strength for Lou Williams and Tarleton so far this tournament has been at the line. With that make, they're now a combined 29 of 33 from the line. And as soon as we mention that, missed free throw, but 1 of 2 as it's a 2-possession game. Harmon, the spin, inside, tough finish. Harmon does it again.
He is tough. You mentioned double high screen, both bigs outside, above the foul line. And Harmon's got the option to go either direction. He goes down that left lane line, which he seems to love so much.
What can Hicks do as he backs his way into the paint? Williams on the drive, poked away by Bandago. 5 on the clock. Hicks way short. It's loose and out of bounds off Tarleton last. Another empty trip for the Texans.
Well, Coach Madsen's come back with 2 real big bodies underneath there, and Fuller and Bandago making it real tough for those drivers. They see a lane line, all of a sudden they see 14 feet of pressure underneath there between those 2 7-footers, and they have to try to stay on the outside. Can't get anything going inside, just 21 points, and we got under 3 minutes minutes of play here in this first half.
UVU, though, on offense has been excellent, 48% as a team. So Tarleton turns up the heat on D. Small on the lob. Bandego, no, but a foul.
Well, that's what we were talking about, right? Like, when are we going to find the big fella underneath and start spoon-feeding him some opportunities? I think it was probably a coaching staff there during that last time out that said, we got to get the big fella going. You want him to rebound, you want him to block shots, you want him to change shots and be a roadblock underneath there, or feed him the ball where he can put that ball in the basket, feel real good about himself at halftime.
Bandego missing the first free throw, but in the meantime, he and the post players for the Wolverines, they're just drawing fouls in bunches. That's 3 Tarleton starters now who picked up 2 personals.
Well, I'm sure coaches wouldn't be worried about that, but he realized he's got his season on the line here. Can't be so worried about the fouls in the first half. Second half, it may come into play, but right now he's got a single-digit deficit, and he'll be happy with that, the way they played here offensively.
Bandego stripped from behind after missing both free throws.
Yeah, tried to do too much for the big fella.
Can Tarleton make a late first half run to chip into this 8-point deficit?
Side pick and roll with Smith. This is where he's good, rolling down on that post.
Daniel, nothing there, and has to kick out. Booker steps into a deep 2. Oh, yeah, pretty stroke.
It really was, because it didn't look like he had a good, clean handle on the ball. It didn't look like his footwork was very, very clean, and he still managed with his muscle memory to knock that one down.
How can Tarleton use that to transition onto the defensive end? Well, I guess I just answered my question. Tiger Booker, all the way, what a finish.
My. Big young fella is showing out here. Gets the rip in the bucket amongst the 7-footer.
Woodbury looks to work into the paint. Big answer for UVU. This is getting good.
Well, I tell you, both teams now starting to ratchet up here in this final 3 minutes. I think they're trying to figure out who's going to take that all-important momentum to the locker room with them, going inside for buckets, playing pressure defense, getting steals, getting second chance opportunities, laying it all out there.
Knocked away. Woodbury read that lob perfectly. Wolverines 5 of their last 5 from the field. The drive-in kick, but a foul called, and actually, no, it was a baseline touch. It was Small who had his foot right on the baseline. Here's another look at that incredible play by Booker on one end to the other.
You gotta love this one right here. He just kind of gives him a little shimmy shake there, gets the defense, back it up, clears enough space for a look, and then right back with the good defense there, snatches his candy, and then puts it in R for reverse around the big man, fooled him.
The 5'10" junior going right at the 7-foot big old tree in the middle. That is not easy.
It was never fun either when the little guards would embarrass the big guy. You're thinking, I got this block, and they do something crafty with it and kind of have you looking like a fool.
Final minute of the first half. 6-point game. UVU's led by as many as 10. But Tarleton trying to make a late push. Booker feeling it, but airballs the deep 2 on the heat check. Woodbury the board.
And give some pressure to the credit to that defense. It was nice pressure on that shooter.
Will UVU go 2 for 1? They will. Oh, it's Woodbury, deep 3.
Oh my goodness, Trey Woodbury with his 3rd triple here in this first half. He is knocking them down. Oh, that's 3 for 4 for Woodbury behind the arc. They will get an opportunity. About 7 seconds difference between shot clock and game clock.
Daniel goes into the paint, pulls up, gets the friendly roll. 10 seconds to go. What does UVU have? And there's some miscommunication in the backcourt. Clock still running. Down to 5. Neal with 3. Neal, the handoff. Woodbury for 3. No. An air ball for Utah Valley. About the only thing Trey Woodbury did not do right in the first half. As we get some chippiness and little physicality right at the end after the whistle. Coaches quickly separate the 2 teams, and that's how we go to the locker room. What a flying start.
Well, it wasn't the prettiest basketball